This is what the villain looks like, by the way. And his name is Fox. So then Fox literally gets backstabbed and then gets hit in the eye. Then Peter adopts Harry. Overall opinion on this book, I don't like it. Let's move on. Stickman Show Ultimate is a adaptation of my brother's series, which I did. So let's get straight onto it. This is one of the most weirdest paced books I've ever written. So it starts off with the main character, Blue, presumably getting shoved off a cliff, but then it realizes that 2 years later, he's not shoved off a cliff. Then he witnesses a possession take place, to which the victim just says, "None of your business." Then he bumps into another purple stick man, and they all fall off a cliff. And during this, a pink detective comes and decides to help them out, but then he falls into the cliff too. And he's dumb now, and really likes chicken for some reason. But then the criminal plants a bomb in the forest, which, guess, explodes. Overall opinion on this book, I think it's pretty okay. Let's move on. The Shared Universe is a series of comics, so I'm not gonna read everyone, I'm just gonna summarize them. So these comics were made, in the sense that I wanted to build a timeline of events. So this first one takes place in, take your best guess. In this one, an alternate version of Peter goes back in time and stops a few criminals. But then, an early version of Foxface wants this version of Peter dead. And then his wish comes true as Peter gets shot in the back of the head and then dies in the past. The second one takes place in 1991. So this is before Peter travelled in time at all, or before any of the events that happened while he travelled in time happened. This is Stickman Show The Fists of Fury, and that is not a Bruce Lee reference. It starts with them eating, then getting detention because they were truant. Then a 15-year-old Peter comes with his dad Kyan. Then a mysterious figure and Blue get into a fight. Then Peter uses a technique called the Fists of Fury to fight this mysterious figure, which Blue also has. Then an ominous figure comes and warns Kyan about 1997, which is where Kyan dies in canon. The third comment is called A Fatal Christmas and is the first appearance of Numboard and takes place in December 1994. It starts with the Stickmen and Numbers having a Christmas party, with Peter joining them. But then a bunch of murders start happening, so Peter brings everyone in the room to suspect them all. But obviously, more murders happen, so Peter eventually catches the murderer, and it's revealed to be the earliest version of Foxface. However, running parallel to this is a story about Russell, who is Peter's son, trying to figure out what happened to his dad after his dad was killed in the past. So then he contacts Green to help him find Purple. Then the fourth issue, called Stickman Show Victory Road, happens in 2004. In the future, Russell starts building a team to figure out what happened to his dad. And then 16 years in the past, the place where Green takes him, Green turned evil and had to be stopped by his fellow Stickmen and Peter. The fifth issue is called Numberworld Mark of 3, and it is a reimagining of the first Numberworld comic that I did. So they get mail, and then turns 2 is invited to a palace, and he can take a friend. And he chooses 4, which makes 3 jealous, so 3 decides to blackmail him into taking him instead. The palace ends up being bait, and they have to get out of there as quick as possible. And 3 is arrested for holding arms, as in weapons. Then they bust 3 out of jail. The final story, Stickman Show Return to Victory Road, happens in 2017. In this story, Green and Blue turn into spiders, and the heroes try to stop them. And then in Russell's story, he's busy organizing the team, and guess who he's found? None other than an old version of Harry, who in this universe is the same age as Peter. And Stickman Show Smashed is the most recent issue of this, and is the most recent issue I have ever made. It tells the story of why Peter switched to getting blue hair, and it's because his twin dies, and then Peter decides to impersonate him out of guilt. So yeah, those were all 9 issues that you requested. Let me know which one was your favourite, and I'll see you another day. Don't feel like doing past intros, so bye.